I grew up on a farm with a driveway nearly a mile long, a little north of the Kentucky border. I grew up very sheltered and innocent and naive. I never dreamed I'd be a stand-up comic because I'm a very proud person and comedy is actually very innocent. It's like welcoming hordes of strangers, strange people into the deepest depths of my heart and soul and mind. So you can experience a completely different world from what you're familiar with. That's entertainment. It's kind of like a vacation from yourself. Our topic for tonight is summer. Some of the comedians seem to be off topic, but it's just because to them, summer is all about sex. For me, summers here in this glorious tropical paradise are not like the summers I grew up with, where tractors, hay bales, iced tea, and country music dulled the senses and suffocated the mind. What I love about summer here in paradise is that it's the one time of the year when I'm hot. It's the one time of the year when I can experience what hot girls feel like. It's the one time of the year when my boyfriend walks up to me and says, "You look hot." I get so hot. My brain goes into meltdown, which is great, because then I have an excuse for being stupid. That's why I love summer. And because I can scope out good-looking guys standing there in their blue jeans with their shirts off, and I can point to their jeans and I can say, "Take those off." Because I'm hot just looking at you. Summertime and the floozy is easy. Pricks are jumping as the cot on the porch screams wide. Well, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, don't be lazy, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take the sky. Why? But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. 'Cause the idiots that run this world will soon. This is really gonna hurt you, but I gotta do it, 'cause I love you. Some of you may not get what's so funny in this next phase of alignment, but later on, maybe in your sleep or when the sun comes up, maybe at breakfast or sometime next week, maybe on your birthday, if you're really dumb, suddenly the light will go on and you burst out laughing. Because I'm going to talk to you about politics and religion. I'm going to talk about the military and education. I'm going to talk about science, which changes, and other really fun stuff like chemistry. I'll make it quick and trust that at some point down the road, you'll be taken to the psych ward for laughing so hard. Chapter 1, Politics. first grade politics. The pay grade for politicians is below national standards for corporate executives. And yet, almost all the politicians at the federal level are millionaires. Oh, not me. Go ahead. Okay, chapter 2, religion. Church of Latter-day Saints, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses. They each have their own little corner on God. Each one is favored. First Church of God, Worldwide Church of God, Baptist Lutherans, Catholics, and Protestants all across our earth, including Muslims, Jews. So I began to wonder why. Early religion started out by condoning the marriage of grown men to young girls. And why? In the begat sections that began, Adam begat Seth, all the way to Jesus. Why do the different begat sections contradict one another? Why are there different names in different chronological order? Which one of those sections am I to believe? Of course, King James selected the most brilliant man in the kingdom to do their dirty work. He was so brilliant, he outsmarted the hybrid parasites by inserting clues that the average man and woman could easily find. Lots of clues so that those who actually cared about the truth could find it. Okay, and on this topic of fake timelines, here we are in chapter 3 already, so fast. Call it history or geology, doesn't matter. I give a huge shout out to the geologists that started out as science geeks, barely scraping by in high school chemistry. I know because I accidentally on purpose had a science major for a roommate in university who accidentally on purpose told me lots of stuff about science majors. It's no big secret, kind of common sense, but actually let's do a quick review. Science majors are required to take classes in chemistry, geology, physics, computer science, and so on, and most students don't earn A's in those classes. Most students earn C's, which means most science majors graduate with a C average. And most graduate from low-level institutions with minimal entrance requirements, which means most scientists don't graduate from highly selective universities. And the climate change experts that are propped up by the billionaires that control our world, they attended or taught in Idaho, Arizona, Georgia, Canada. None of them graduated from Oxford or Cambridge. If that's not enough, psychologists have uploaded the IQs for all the world to see, so that we know that, with few exceptions, the IQ of geologists is 85 to 115, which is the intellectual equivalent of the smart kids in 5th and 6th grades. This is the group that is assigned the noble task of compiling, analyzing, and relaying the history of our Earth for the public, while the billionaires that control our world get their science reports from the magna cum laude PhDs from highly selective universities whose IQs are in the range of 170 to 200. Now, that's roughly 100 IQ points higher than the fake experts that are propped up for public consumption. If you think 100 IQ points is irrelevant, remind yourself that the discrepancy between the general public and the developmentally challenged is only 15 to 20 points, while the discrepancy between the general public and the imbeciles, which is a clinical term for those who cannot read and write, that disparagement is only about 50 points. So while the real experts of the billionaires hire are about 100 points higher than the fake experts whose reports are published in the fake science magazines and the newspapers and who give their spiels on the evening news. Nothing to see here, go back to what you're doing. Okay, on to chapter 4. We'll review the periodic chart of chemical elements that are known as the idiotic fart of whimsical filaments, because chemical elements do not organize themselves into rectangular boxes, so why are we expected to learn this array of lunacy? And why have chemists for over 100 years and from all across our Earth illustrated the chemical elements in a spiraling vortex with hydrogen in the center? You suppose that might be the real chemistry? and fake timelines like the fake democracy and fake freedom serve as a prism as lies that's imposed upon the public. The full spectrum deception includes the fake politicians, the fake economics, the medical mafia, the fake justice system that does nothing, has hundreds of trillions of dollars of siphoned off the public wealth by the 1% that control our world. So, as we break free of the programming, we begin to notice clues to the truth are everywhere. For example, our calendar has the months September, October, November, December, which represents the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th months of each year. Those months are abbreviated Sept, Oct, Neuf, and Dec, which anyone who's familiar with Latin or the Romance languages knows that Sept, Oct, Neuf, and Dec represents 7, 8, 9, and 10. Not 9, 10. There's a reason, because 2 months were added to the calendar in the early 1700s. Look it up. It's not a secret, but why? Because Earth's, I'm not making this up. It's not a joke. It's funny, but it's not a joke. Because Earth's expansion resulted in the days, nights, months, and years becoming longer. So 2 months were added in the early 1700s, which followed a long series of other months that had already been added to the calendar. Which had originally started out as very short years. Because, because Earth's expansion was causing the days, nights, months, and years to get longer. And that is why the early biblical patriarchs were living nearly 1,000 years, but not having children until they were over 100 years old. Because, seriously.
No way.
Yeah, true. It's because their Earth was so small that their years, like 1,000 of their years was closer to like 100 of our years. So that's why when Noah's flood inundated the earth, because Earth was very small, with no continents, no oceans, and no mountains. It's true. It's true. There's like 1,000 independent sources that corroborate what I'm telling you. It's not a joke. It's just funny. See, you're just laughing. It's just funny because all this has been hidden from the public. The very short year on board the Ark was roughly equivalent to about 5 weeks. It's stinky, but it's doable. Okay, so recently, a prestigious, highly distinguished Royal Institute of London uploaded a video from one of their fake experts on parade, which gave a talk on sea level rise. My comment under the video was scathing. I paused before I posted to read the other comments from other critics. And one of the comments said, "Your contribution to science is about the same level as McDonald's to Fine Food. All fake." Joel Monroe said, "If you remove unscientific theories from your presentation, you would have to remove the whole video. So use a little diligence next time instead of being a tool." Another critic wrote, "To expose government lies and corruption is to be labeled a conspiracy nut." Bill Conger wrote, "The Royal Institution's rapid, catastrophic, anthropogenic climate change is a cult invented or propagated by evil people. Like most cults, it's near impossible to talk someone down from the ledge. Science has nothing to do with it. I've been seeing reports this week of a resort that will be, a ski resort that will be open until August, and record snow, glaciers growing, some or most of the climate cult couldn't be swayed if Chicago was under a mile of ice. That's fine for you. You do, you boo, but don't put your psycho bullshit on the rest of us. You can't live without weapons, like the Nazis." Okay, so there's lots of us who know the science is a fraud. So keep that in mind when you think about Earth, continents, oceans, mountains, cataclysms, our chemicals, including the minerals, our sun, moon, stars. Don't believe the programming of international disinfo. The truth about climate change is that as our Earth continues to warm up, I will be hot all year long. Gotta go. Mahalo.